On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Embryonic.
Of or relating to an embryo, equals an animal organism in the early stages of growth, in an early stage of development.
Examples:
Embryonic stem cells. Embryonic development. The project is still in its embryonic stage.
Stem.
The central part of something from which other parts can develop or grow, the part of a word common to all its inflected variants. Verb, to grow out of, have roots in, or originate in.
Examples:
Stem from a belief. The stem of a matchstick. A rose has thorns on its stem.
Incredible.
Unbelievable, extremely large.
Examples:
Incredible amount. At incredible speed. Her response revealed incredible idiocy.
Kit.
A set of tools, supplies, or equipment for a particular purpose.
Examples:
Survival kit. A first aid kit. I bought a new tool kit for my home repair projects.
Pluripotent.
Describing cells that have the potential to differentiate into any specialized cell in the body, often used in the context of stem cell research and applications.
Examples:
Pluripotent embryonic cells. Pluripotent gene expression. Pluripotent stem cells can differentiate into any cell in the body.
Morph.
To change or cause to change something or someone smoothly and gradually from one thing to another.
Examples:
Morph into a different shape. Morph into something entirely different. This company morphed into an enterprise company.
Replace.
To take the place of something.
Examples:
Replace one word with another. Replace a phone. Eventually, the new design will replace all older models.
Dam.
A wall constructed over a river to block the flow of water, mainly used to generate energy.
Examples:
Dam building program. Dam collapsing. The break in the dam threatened the valley.
Disease.
A disorder or illness that affects the body or mind, often characterized by specific symptoms or abnormal functioning of organs or systems.
Examples:
Disease prevention. Disease control. The doctor diagnosed him with a rare disease that had no known cure.
Extraordinary.
Exceptional, unexpected, very unusual, surpassing the ordinary or usual.
Examples:
Extraordinary ability. Extraordinary weather. He narrated the extraordinary story of his adventure.
Develop.
To grow or expand, to improve or refine through a process of progress and refinement, often to achieve greater sophistication or complexity, to elaborate or add detail to something that is in the process of being created.
Examples:
Develop a strategy. Develop a skill. We must develop a new system to streamline our workflow and increase efficiency.
Alzheimer.
A neurodegenerative disease that causes memory loss, cognitive decline, and behavioral issues, is the most common cause of dementia in older adults.
Examples:
Alzheimer's brain. Alzheimer's risk factors. My grandmother has Alzheimer's disease, requires special care and attention from her caregivers.
Diabetes.
A medical condition in which the body cannot produce enough insulin to control the glucose levels in the blood.
Examples:
Juvenile diabetes. Diabetes patient. My father was tested for diabetes.
Polio.
An acute infectious disease caused by a virus that attacks nerve cells in the spinal cord and brain, leading to paralysis, muscle weakness, and potentially lifelong disability.
Examples:
Polio epidemic. Polio eradication. The polio vaccine development is regarded as one of the greatest medical achievements of the 20th century.
Enormous.
Extremely large or great.
Examples:
Enormous amount. Enormous potential. Shakespeare's output of poetry was enormous.
Siege.
The surrounding of a place and isolating it by an army to defeat those defending it.
Examples:
Hostage siege. Lay siege to his house. People began storing up food and supplies for the siege.
Politically.
In a way that relates to the government or public affairs of a nation.
Examples:
Politically advantageous. Become politically savvy. This newspaper is supposed to be politically neutral.
Fin.
A thin flat part on the body of a fish or other aquatic animal used for propulsion or balance.
Examples:
Back fin. A fin of a plane. The shark's powerful fins allowed it to swim at high speeds.
Essential.
Indispensable, fundamental.
Examples:
Essential amino acid. Essential commodities of life. Trial and error is an essential part of education.
Laboratory.
A workplace for doing scientific research or teaching science, a lab.
Examples:
laboratory accident. Anthropology laboratory. Animal protection groups call for an end to animal testing in a laboratory.
Advance.
To go or move forward, to develop in a positive way.
Examples:
advance the technology. Advance a cooperative relationship. Scientific knowledge will advance significantly with the power of AI.
Interference.
The act or process of getting involved in and trying to influence a specific situation. The state of being affected and influenced with.
Examples:
officious interference. Interference wave. Unfortunately, the radio interference made it difficult to hear the broadcast.
Foundation. The
lowest load-bearing part of a building, typically below ground level, a fundamental basis or principle upon which something is built or established, an organization that provides funding or support for charitable or educational purposes.
Examples:
foundation course. Weak foundation. The foundation of the building was cracked and needed to be repaired.
Medical.
Relating to the treatment of illness or injuries, relating to the practice of medicine.
Examples:
a medical opinion. Temporary medical treatment. The medical team worked quickly to save the patient's life.
Dominate.
To have or control a lot of power and influence over somebody or something.
Examples:
dominate possession. Dominate over the weak. The perspective of his right brain dominates his consciousness.
Gap.
A conspicuous disparity or difference separates something such as a figure, people, their opinions, situation, etc.
Examples:
the gap between ideal and reality. Distance gap. Many people are working together to close the gender gap.
Academic.
Associated with schools, colleges, and universities, especially studying and thinking, not with practical skills.
Examples:
academic probation. An academic discussion. An excellent historian must possess an academic mentality.
Pharmaceutical.
Relating to the production and selling of the medical drugs.
Examples:
major pharmaceutical companies. Commercial pharmaceutical products. She gave money to help set up a pharmaceutical laboratory.
Biology.
The scientific study of life and the natural processes of living things.
Examples:
evolutionary biology. Cell and molecular biology. In junior high school, we had to dissect a frog in biology class.
Responsible.
Answerable or accountable for something within one's power, control, or management.
Examples:
Responsible action. Responsible for customer service. She's a responsible pet owner who ensures her dog gets enough exercise and a healthy diet.
Accelerate.
To make something faster or earlier, to cause to develop or progress more quickly.
Examples:
Accelerate a chemical reaction. Accelerate the car. The government tried to accelerate the commercialization of this development.
Therapy.
The act of caring for someone through medication, remedial training, etc.
Examples:
Therapy for a patient. Field of gene therapy. I underwent aversion therapy for my addiction to alcohol.
Ponder.
To think deeply or carefully about something.
Examples:
Ponder divine matters. Ponder life's meaning. She sat quietly, pondering the difficult decision.
Software.
A set of computer programs and associated documentation and data for doing particular computational jobs.
Examples:
Software architect. Copyrighted software. The company specializes in both hardware and software.
Hardware.
Durable tools, machinery, and other equipment, the physical and electronic parts of a computer or other electronic systems.
Examples:
The hardware department. A vast inventory of hardware. The mouse and keyboard are essential hardware for operating a PC.
Genetically.
In a way that relates to or is produced by genes, equals the units in the cells of a living thing received by an animal or plant from its parents, or heredity.
Examples:
Genetically inherited traits. Genetically manipulated plant. The genetically modified crops were resistant to pests and required less water.
Diverse.
Including numerous categories of individuals or entities, various.
Examples:
Diverse backgrounds. A person of diverse talents. New York is a city with a diverse ethnic population.
Array.
A large group or collection of things or people, especially one that is impressive or attractive.
Examples:
A two-dimensional array. An array of troops. The customer on the internet has to choose one from a formidable array of products.
Essentially.
Relating to the essential features or concepts of anything.
Examples:
Essentially correct. Become essentially same. Essentially, a society is an organism.
Avatar.
The concept in Hinduism, a god appearing in human or superhuman or animal form, a graphical representation of a user or the user's character or persona in online games, chat rooms, etc.
Examples:
Digital avatar. The avatar of the authority. A person's cyberspace avatar often represents the appearance and behavior that the person wants to be.
Sequence:
A series of related events, actions, numbers, etc., which have a particular order.
Examples:
The sequence of the seasons. The DNA sequence. We do move forward with those tasks in sequence next week.
Genome:
The complete set or sequence of genes of a human, animal, plant, or other living things.
Examples:
Sequencing of the human genome. Genome analyses. The human genome contains approximately 3 billion chemical base pairs.
Clinical:
Of or relating to the examination and treatment of patients rather than theoretical or laboratory studies.
Examples:
Clinical surgery. Participate in clinical trials. She received special clinical training at the hospital.
Perspective:
A certain attitude towards something, a particular style of thinking about something.
Examples:
A perspective view. Perspective of the battle. His father's death changed his whole perspective on life.
Context:
The circumstances, facts, or conditions that surround a particular event, situation, or statement and that give it meaning.
Examples:
Historical context. Legal context. It's important to understand the context of a situation before making a decision.
Identify:
To recognize someone or something and say or prove who or what they are.
Examples:
Identify handwriting. Identify gene sequences. I will introduce you to how to identify the leading causes of the malfunction.
Reprogram:
To modify or recreate a program.
Examples:
Reprogram a device. Reprogram a database. He reprogrammed the computer's operating system to remove the safeguard.
Virus:
A tiny infectious organic material that causes disease in people, animals, and plants.
Examples:
Spread of the virus. A strain of virus. An infected person in the hospital will likely pass the virus to others.
Induce:
To persuade someone to do something, to cause to act in a specific manner.
Examples:
Induce a crisis. Induce him to see a doctor. The lack of sleep induces both physical and psychological diseases.
Refer.
To direct someone's attention, thoughts, or questions to another source or person, to mention, cite, or allude to something as evidence or support.
Examples.
Refer to a book. Refer to a map. Please refer to the instruction manual for further assistance.
Terrific.
Causing terror or fear, extremely great or intense, very good or excellent.
Examples.
Absolutely terrific. At a terrific speed. The view from the top of the mountain was terrific, with sweeping vistas of the valley below.
Discovery.
The act or process of finding information, a place, or an object, or learning about something that was previously not known.
Examples.
A scientific discovery. The great discovery of the century. Her research team made an important discovery.
Biopsy.
The process of removing and examining tissue from the body of the sick person to determine the existence or cause of a disease.
Examples.
Biopsy of bone marrow. Liquid biopsy. The doctor performed an excisional breast biopsy.
Motor.
A device that converts electricity, fuel, etc. into movement and makes a machine, vehicle, etc. work.
Examples.
A motor mechanic. DC motor control. Energy-efficient motors are needed to maximize the cruising distance of electric vehicles.
Neuron.
A cell that is specialized to carry information within the brain and between the brain and other parts of the body.
Examples.
Excite the neurons. Neuron cell body. Our body transfers information along each neuron using an electrical impulse.
Recapitulate.
To summarize or repeat the main points of something.
Examples.
Recapitulate briefly. Recapitulate a speech. He recapitulated the main points of the meeting for those who had not been able to attend.
Patient.
A person who is receiving medical treatment, care, or attention from a healthcare professional, such as a doctor, nurse, or therapist, a personal quality or characteristic.
Examples.
Patient in the hospital. Patient with weight loss. The doctor carefully examined the patient's medical history.
Unfold.
To open up or spread out something that is folded or rolled up, to reveal or disclose something that was previously hidden or unknown.
Examples.
Unfold the story. Unfold the stroller. The mystery unfolded as the detectives gathered more clues.
Toxin.
A poisonous substance produced by a living organism, such as a plant, animal, or microorganism, a chemical compound that can cause harm or illness to a living organism.
Examples:
Toxin exposure, toxin production. Mold exposure can release dangerous toxins into the air.
Contribute.
To give something, especially money or goods, to provide or achieve something together with other people.
Examples:
Contribute a large sum of money to the fund. Contribute to society. Government workers cannot contribute to political campaigns.
Investigator.
A person whose job is to conduct an investigation or inquiry into something, often to gather information or evidence.
Examples:
Private investigator, clinical investigator. The forensic investigator collected DNA samples from the crime scene to identify the perpetrator.
Terribly.
Very badly, to a great extent or very much.
Examples:
Suffer terribly. I am terribly sorry. His arm was swollen and terribly red.
Flee.
To leave by running away, especially out of fear or danger.
Examples:
Flee their homes. Flee abroad. It is a basic instinct to flee from a dangerous situation.
Hypothesize.
To form or present a theory or explanation without sufficient evidence, to speculate.
Examples:
Hypothesize as to outcomes. Hypothesize what could have happened. Scientists hypothesize that the new fish species evolved to survive in deep-sea environments.
Unprecedented.
Never having been seen, done, or known before.
Examples:
Unprecedented boom. Unprecedented business opportunity. Unprecedented amounts of heckling and slogan shouting took place throughout the event.
Cellular.
Of or connected with the cells of animals or plants, of or connected with a mobile telephone system that uses several short-range radio stations instead of wires.
Examples:
Cellular and molecular biology. A cellular phone handset. This factory employs a cellular manufacturing system.
Conversation.
An informal talk between two or more people to exchange their views, ideas, information, etc.
Examples:
Conversation in English. A friendly conversation. Your conversation reflects your thoughts.
Symptom.
Any sensation or change in body or mind that is experienced by a patient and is associated with a particular disease.
Examples:
Symptoms of low testosterone. Neurotic symptoms. The patient displays a symptom of a side effect.
Routine.
A usual or habitual way of doing things, a set sequence of steps, part of a larger computer program.
Examples:
Routine business. A built-in diagnostic routine. She studies gardening on a routine basis.
Problematic.
Full of difficulties, difficult to deal with or solve.
Examples:
A problematic situation. Seems to be highly problematic. Direct democracy is effective in quickly resolving problematic situations within a community.
Sink.
To submerge or go down below the surface of a liquid or substance, to decline or deteriorate, to cause something to go down into a liquid substance or sink into something else.
Examples:
Sink a lot of capital. Sink a buzzer beater. The abandoned ship slowly began to sink into the murky waters of the harbor.
Involve.
To include or affect someone or something as a necessary part of something else.
Examples:
Involve a lot of paperwork. Involve a high degree of risk. The investigation involves several government agencies and is expected to take several months.
Compound.
An item composed of two or more distinct elements combined, a chemical formed by the combination of two or more elements.
Examples:
Aquatic compound. Harmful compound. Common salt is a sodium and chlorine compound.
Creature.
A living being, especially an animal.
Examples:
Creature of habit. Artificial creature. The deep-sea creature was unlike anything the scientists had ever seen before.
Engineer.
A person whose job is designing, building, or maintaining something such as machines, structures, or software.
Examples:
A civil engineer. Engineer shortage. The engineer will repair my telephone tomorrow morning.
Characteristic.
A typical feature or quality that can identify, tell apart, or describe something or somebody.
Examples:
Stripes characteristic of the zebra. My friend's characteristic laugh. Bananas have their characteristic taste and odor.
Brain.
The organ inside the head that is responsible for one's movement, thought, memory, and feeling.
Examples:
Basic brain function. Permanent brain damage. X-rays revealed a small tumor in his brain.
Cardiac.
Of or relating to the heart or heart disease.
Examples:
Cardiac arrest. Cardiac disease. The cardiac output of a resting adult is around 3 quarts per minute.
Lab.
A workplace for the conduct of scientific research, a laboratory.
Examples:
Lab instrument. Medical lab. The Prime Minister will pay a courtesy visit to the Nobel laureate's lab.
Liver.
A large organ in the body, involved in many metabolic processes, such as detoxification of the organism and the synthesis of proteins.
Examples:
Liver disease. Fatty liver. The patient will undergo liver transplant surgery tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Without restriction or limitation, completely or utterly.
Examples:
Absolutely against. Absolutely obsessed with the girl. I am absolutely opposed to his idea because of morality.
Assay.
To analyze or test a substance for its chemical composition or its quantity, to attempt or try something.
Examples:
Assay the sample. Assay the protein. Scientists must assay the chemical properties of the new drug before using it on humans.
Medication.
A drug or other form of medicine that treats, prevents, or alleviates the symptoms of the disease.
Examples:
Antibiotic medication. Medication by mouth. The pharmacist not only prescribes the medication but also guides its proper use.
Genetic.
Of or relating to genes, equals parts of the DNA in cells, or the science of genes.
Examples:
Have genetic testing. A genetic disorder. Understanding protein folding is a vital step in deciphering the genetic code.
Makeup.
Colored substances used on someone's face to improve or change their appearance.
Examples:
Makeup artist. Take the makeup off her face. Her beauty resulted from a good night's sleep rather than makeup.
Ineffective.
Not producing any significant or intended effect or result.
Examples:
An ineffective speech. Pull an ineffective player. These treatments were ineffective against a virus.
Similarly.
In almost the same way.
Examples:
Similarly situated. Have similarly great abilities. We argue that wages for temporary workers should similarly rise.
Obvious.
Easy to see, discover, or understand.
Examples:
Obvious reasons. His conclusion was obvious. There are obvious differences between the two wine-producing regions.
Unfortunately.
by bad luck, unluckily.
Examples:
Unfortunately caught in a shower. Even more unfortunately. The treatments were done, but, unfortunately, were unsuccessful.
Industrious.
Hardworking, diligent, and persistent in effort.
Examples:
Industrious worker. Industrious student. He was known to be very industrious and would often work late into the night.
Hike.
A long walk or journey, especially for pleasure or exercise, an increase in cost.
Examples:
Go on a hike. A hike in prices. The family decided to hike in the mountains to enjoy the beautiful scenery.
Complicated.
Involving a lot of different things or parts in a way that is difficult to understand or analyze.
Examples:
A complicated process. Become increasingly complicated. He did complicated pen and ink drawings in just a few days.
Suffer.
To experience pain, distress, or hardship, to undergo or endure something painful or unpleasant.
Examples:
Suffer a setback. Suffer bad grades. The older man suffers from arthritis and finds it difficult to move around.
Severe.
Extremely serious or bad in feeling, manner, or strict and harsh, extremely strong or vigorous.
Examples:
Severe heat. A severe case of pneumonia. The senator received severe criticism from his opponent.
Arthritis.
Inflammation of one or more joints of the body, which include pain and stiffness.
Examples:
Medication for arthritis. Symptoms of arthritis. My rheumatoid arthritis is acting up again.
Absolute.
Perfect or complete, or to the most considerable degree possible.
Examples:
Absolute loyalty. An absolute must. Gandhi had an absolute zeal for nonviolence.
Lifesaver.
A device or person that saves someone's life, often in an emergency or dangerous situation.
Examples:
Lifesaver ring. Emergency lifesaver. The GPS device was a lifesaver when we got lost in the middle of nowhere.
Subset.
A set of things that are contained within another larger set, a portion or division of a group or category.
Examples:
Proper subset. Subset selection. A subset of the employees will be trained in the new software program.
Scenario.
A description of possible actions or events in the future, a written outline of a play, film, or literary work.
Examples:
The worst case scenario. Number of different scenarios. The president prepared several possible scenarios for an enemy attack.
Petri.
Petri dish, a small, clear, and round dish with a lid used in laboratories, especially for growing bacteria.
Examples:
Petri dish test. Bacteria on petri dishes. Glass petri dishes are used to culture microorganisms.
Subgroup.
A smaller group within a larger group.
Examples:
Subgroup of the population. Patient subgroup. The researchers divided the study participants into 2 subgroups.
Medicinal.
Of or relating to the treatment or cure of disease.
Examples:
Medicinal chemistry. Traditional medicinal. The medicinal properties of this herb have been known to help with various ailments.
Disaster.
An unexpected event or series of events that cause widespread damage, destruction, or loss of life.
Examples:
Global disaster. Disaster recovery. The disaster response team worked around the clock to aid those affected by the earthquake.
Outcome.
The result or effect of an action, event, etc.
Examples:
Improved student outcomes. A desirable outcome. They awaited news of the outcome of the election.
Withdraw.
To remove or take back something, to stop participating in something.
Examples:
Withdraw from public life. Withdraw $500 from my account. The company decided to withdraw its proposal due to public opposition.
Genetics.
The branch of biology that studies genes, genetic variation, and heredity in organisms.
Examples:
The science of genetics. Genetics discrimination. He is a specialist in the genetics of aging.
Fundamental.
Forming an essential base or core from which everything else develops or is affected.
Examples:
Fundamental education. Fundamental rights. Human behavior has fundamental characteristics.
Scalable.
Capable of being easily expanded or increased in size, number, or scale to meet changing demands.
Examples:
Scalable solution. Dynamically scalable. The company's new software is highly scalable, allowing it to handle increasing number of users.
Variation.
The act or state of changing, a difference or change in the way something is done, made, or said.
Examples:
Variation of temperature. Gene variation. There is a lot of variation in the colors of flowers in the garden.
Technique.
A particular way or art of doing something that needs skill.
Examples.
A technique in martial arts. The technique applied to construction. Jockey's superior technique brought him victory.
Aspirin.
A drug used to reduce pain, fever, and inflammation.
Examples.
Prescribe aspirin. Aspirin sensitivity. She took a tablet of aspirin to soothe the fever.
Craft.
An activity that requires a particular skill in making things with one's hands.
Examples.
Craft arts of Japan. Craft manufacture. His hometown was where he first acquired the craft of wood carving.
Hurdle.
A barrier or obstacle that must be overcome.
Examples.
Overcome hurdles. Hurdle race. The company faced several hurdles in the development of its new product.
App.
Abbreviation for application, software designed to run on smartphones and other mobile devices or inside a web browser on a PC.
Examples.
Killer app. Cannot log into the app. The discovery of a critical bug caused the company to delay the app's release.
Smartphone.
A mobile phone that functions as a computer and connects to the internet.
Examples.
Smartphone app developer. Smartphone addict. Internet traffic volumes have increased significantly with the advent of smartphones.
Stand-in.
A person or thing that acts as a substitute, replacement, or temporary assistant for someone or something else, a double or understudy for a performer or actor.
Examples.
Stand-in teacher. Use a stand-in in an exam. The company hired a stand-in for the CEO for the shareholder meeting.
Represent.
To speak, act, or be present on behalf of another person or group, to form or constitute.
Examples.
Represent by a diagram. The characters that represent numbers. We elected him to represent us at the international conference.
Automated.
Carried out by machines or computers to replace or decrease human labor.
Examples.
Automated manual transmission. Automated way. The plant will continue operating through an automated system 24 hours a day.
Robotic.
Of or relating to mechanical robots, robotics, the interdisciplinary branch of computer science and engineering with the practical use of robots.
Examples.
Robotic arm. Robotic guide operation. The surgeon removed the tumor using robotic video assistance.
Massive.
Enormous amount, very heavy and solid.
Examples:
Massive amounts. Massive stars. The recent economic downturn has resulted in massive layoffs.
Parallel.
Being everywhere equidistant and not intersecting, of or relating to the simultaneous performance of multiple operations.
Examples:
A parallel case. Parallel processing. He walked a road parallel to the railroad.
Process.
A series of actions or operations performed to achieve a particular outcome or goal, a systematic procedure or approach used to accomplish a specific task or objective, a method of treating milk to make it suitable for consumption or use in other dairy products.
Examples:
Process improvement. Decision-making process. The process for applying for a visa can be lengthy and complicated.
Eventually.
Finally, particularly after a long time or a lot of struggle, complications, and so on.
Examples:
Eventually become obsolete. Eventually succeed. The corporation eventually dominated the entire tobacco business.
Relevance.
The state or degree of being closely connected or appropriate to the matter at hand.
Examples:
Have no relevance. Relevance category. The relevance of this information to the current situation needs to be investigated.
Threshold.
The floor or ground that forms the bottom of a doorway and offers support when passing through a doorway, the smallest detectable sensation.
Examples:
The threshold between rooms. High pain threshold. She's on the threshold of adulthood.
Incurable.
Not able to be cured, healed, or remedied, beyond recovery or redemption.
Examples:
Incurable patient. Incurable romantic. The patient was diagnosed with an incurable disease and given only a few months to live.
Cancer.
Abnormal growth of cells that can invade and destroy surrounding tissues and organs. A disease characterized by the uncontrolled growth and spread of abnormal cells.
Examples:
Cancer diagnosis. Cancer research. Breast cancer is the most common type of cancer in women.
Incredibly.
In a way that is very difficult to believe, exceedingly, or extremely.
Examples:
Incredibly cheerful character. Get incredibly insecure. Several cities are experiencing incredibly high unemployment rates.